Smorgasbord Radio.
Hi, this is Dave. I'm 46 years old. I like moonlight walks on the beach, and yes, this is my real hair. It's Dave. I'm 46 years old. I like moonlight walks on the beach, and yes, this is my real hair. Okay. Wow. 46 years old. I like moonlight walks on the beach, and yes, this is my real hair.
That's great.
46 years old. I like moonlight walks on the beach, and yes, this is my real hair.
It just keeps looping, I guess.
Yeah. And you can paste it to Facebook. Very nice. You're going to make it someday.
Gonna make it big.
Welcome back to another episode of Smorgasbord Radio, Smorgasbord Radio Show, the Smorg Show Podcast, episode 154. And I'm your host, Chris, with my good friend and co-host from time to time, Mr. Jerome Malauskis. Woo! Chief Conspiracy Correspondent, we like to call him here, our friendly moniker.
Yeah, there you go.
How you doing, Jerry? Welcome back to the show. How you been?
Interesting.
Yeah?
I've been interesting.
You been interesting?
Well, maybe I should say everything around me has been interesting, and I'm just taking it all in.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Well, you know, just I don't think anybody who's been aware of what's going on in the world these days pretty much knows how interesting everything is. I guess for me, and this is a hang up I have, and I know I probably shouldn't be judgmental like this.
But go ahead.
But I'm going to. Every time after this many years of the pandemic and what have you, seeing people, I'm seeing people my age and younger, especially people I know that should be healthy, walking around with masks.
Yeah.
I hate them. I think they're idiots.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't think that way. I shouldn't feel that way, but that's the way I feel. I judge them hard. I think of them as being idiots. It's like, after all this time and all we know about COVID, and you're still running around like you think any moment you could drop dead of it, and especially if you're younger.
Well, yeah.
You're an idiot.
Well, now we're going to get slapped with another COVID warning on our episode.
Sorry. Well, we can record. We can record over this.
Anyway, this is your therapy. This show is your therapy. You can come out here in a safe space. This is a safe space for you from the city.
That's
a shelter.
How ironic that I need a safe space. It's not just the. Oh, that's what you've got there.
Yeah, so we'll talk about this, but I got the Kendall County Times.
Yeah.
And interestingly, it is the exact same publication as yours.
Chicago City Wire.
Chicago City Wire. And all the content's the same.
Mm-hmm.
But it's real data, real news. And I get it every 2 weeks delivered to me. Have you, just in the last maybe 3 months, I've been getting this?
I think I've been getting it longer, but not much longer. Yeah, real data, real news, but according to the Democratic Party, it's real propaganda.
Yeah, well, it's very critical of JB Pritzker. JB, I think, stands for Jumbo Behind. I think I'll label that here. No, seriously, very critical of Pritzker and Lightfoot. What's her name?
Dirty
Lightfoot.
I like how that Officer Tatum calls her Lori Dirtyfoot.
Yeah. Let me just play this real quick. So so we're just a couple weeks out from the midterms, and the political attack ads are running rampant, of course. Pritzker had to respond recently over a Bailey ad. I think it was a Bailey ad. Have you heard about this Lakeview Scream ad?
Yeah, I saw it. It's a pretty scary ad.
Well, here's a response to it. Then I'll actually play the ad, which you have to visualize it because there's no words in it. I'll have to do it. I'll have to tell what's going on. But let's play this first, and we'll come back and comment.
Governor Pritzker is blasting a political ad that shows a real-life attack on a woman on Chicago's North Side.
And a lot of people are talking about that ad, and Sally is here now with more. Sally?
Yeah, if you have a TV, you have probably seen this one. It shows doorbell video camera of a woman getting attacked on the North Side. This happened earlier this month. In the ad, you can hear the victim screaming repeatedly as 3 men attack her in Lakeview. The ad comes from a conservative political action group called People Who Play by the Rules PAC, which often attacks Governor Pritzker while supporting his Republican opponent, Darren Bailey. Pritzker calls it disgusting and racist.
It's a terrible commercial. They've chosen a particular crime in which there was a white woman who is the victim and apparently black perpetrators. That's the ad they want people to see, particularly in the suburbs. That's part of the entire racial tinge of everything that's being put out by that PAC.
Now, we have just talked with Republican candidate Darren Bailey. He told us he supports the message of the ad. We're going to hear more from Bailey tonight on Fox 32 News at 9. Corey?
Yeah. So the ad is, here's the audio of it. On a Sunday afternoon in Chicago's... Whoa. Pritzker, Lightfoot, paid for people who play by the rules. How much worse does it have to get? It just shows Pritzker and Lightfoot basically seconds before embracing each other. Yeah.
The thing is, and he says Pritzker says it's racially tinged. Well, he must not live in the city, or not that part of this. Well, I don't know. Lakeview is actually a fairly affluent area of the city, because to say that it's racial just takes away from the reality of what goes on. I'm sorry, a lot of attacks are in that vein. I'm not saying that there's roving gangs of black guys walking around looking for anything to jump on. I think there probably are a few, but the thing is, unfortunately, yeah, there is sort of a racial element, because a lot of times these violent attacks or the violent crime is perpetrated by young black and Latino men. I'd say even more so black men. And I'm not saying that to disparage black people or disparage Latino people, because they're also victims of this stuff as well. It's not just attacking, white victims. But if we want to talk about who the profile of a lot of this, unfortunately, it's going to not wash out in the politically correct way. It's going to show that a certain demographic is more involved in that. I mean, I'm trying to say this in a way so it doesn't sound insensitive.
No, I get you. But this is all coming out under this. There's a lot of criticism about this so-called Safety Act.
Yeah.
SAFE-T.
Yeah.
Stands for Safety, Accountability, Fairness, and Equity Today Act. So you can see, obviously, people sat in a room and think, how are we going to make an acronym? How do we spell this out?
By the way, when you have anything that has the word equity in it,
yeah,
you can assume it's woke. It's very woke.
Yeah. So, I mean, it starts with the elimination of cash bail, but it just talks about who will be back on the streets, and they're basically emptying the prisons. You could basically commit assault, theft, battery, robbery, burglary, arson, property damage,
second-degree murder.
Yeah, and be back on the streets.
Right now, Illinois, I mean, it used to be that California and New York were the laughing stocks of the country. But now with the Safety Act coming out, you can honestly say that Illinois will become the laughing stock. And this is what, all those the governors, let's say, in like Governor Abbott or Governor DeSantis are going to say, look at Illinois. Say, do you want that to happen? Do you want to see what they're doing up there come down here?
Right.
Because, they're going to look at it and say, this is ridiculous. And it is ridiculous.
Anyway. Well, I guess it goes into law January 1. So.
And I live in the city, so.
Buckle up.
Yeah, I will.
I don't think I'm safe out here either.
Well, at this point, it doesn't. Yeah, because, criminals can travel.
They can. Yeah. Okay.
A young British tourist has fallen to her death at an infamous eastern suburbs photo hotspot.
He was taking selfies moments before he fell.
Fell to their deaths from a cliff in Cabo de Roca, apparently while trying to take selfie pictures.
As social media use continues to grow, the number of people risking their lives to get the perfect shot for Instagram is also increasing.
Just by those tracks right there, she was going through a photo shoot and did not survive.
But Instagram photos aren't the only fatal social media trend, with TikTok seeing viral videos turn deadly.
So we're here to talk about TikTok a little bit. So normally we would do our annual Spook Fest in honor of Halloween coming up this week, but
I think TikTok is scary enough on its own.
We're going to discuss some scary stories, dangerous trends of TikTok. They're up to, I think, over 500 million users now. It's obviously, I think, if not the most popular of all social media platforms, it's definitely in the top 3 or 4.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of dangerous trends that have started on this app. Remember a few years back, the Tide Pod eating challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the swallowing a condom filled with water challenge. Today, we're going to talk about some of the other ones that have crept up lately. Let me just say this is one app I do not have on my phone, and I've never used it. I don't really plan on ever using it. Now, I've seen TikTok ad videos because they get shared on other platforms, but I haven't seen it directly on the app itself. Personally, I think it highlights the worst
of humanity.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's worse, TikTok or Twitter. I mean, because both are basically a sewer of humanity, but I think TikTok has got more video content, so it might edge them out just a little bit.
TikTok is cancer.
I mean, for one thing, I think it's a threat to security. I mean, take a look at some of these headlines that I dug up just from CNBC. TikTok insiders say social media company is tightly controlled by Chinese parent ByteDance.
The ironic thing is you can't get TikTok in China.
Oh, really?
No, they don't allow it.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense.
It can't get past the Great Firewall.
Deeper into that article, it says cybersecurity experts worry that the Chinese government used TikTok to spread propaganda or censorship to American audience, or to exercise influence over users.
Well, not only that, but they get incredible amounts of probably demographic data.
Oh, yeah.
And other things about all over the world, but certainly the Western world.
Well, that's actually my next bullet here.
Oh, okay.
Wall Street Journal reported on TikTok, it's all fun and games until China wants your info. There's a lot there's a lot that the Chinese government might find valuable in the data TikTok collects about American users. It collects consumers' real-time location, search history, biometric data, the fingerprints or the facial recognition, the imprints.
Yeah, no doubt.
I didn't know this until recently, but like when you're scrolling through, let's say Instagram or Facebook or now TikTok, it knows that you're scrolling and you're not interested versus you've stopped on something and it caught your interest. And I don't know what that time frame is, 1 second, 2 second, but it knows, oh, this is interesting to this person. And then bam, it records it. Such information is invaluable to create identity profiles, which hackers sell to the highest bidder in Chinese black markets.
It's also good infrastructure, or should I say, laying a base for something like a social credit score system, because they'll know so much about your propensity, what your beliefs are, what you like and you dislike, and how they can, monitor and and maybe do certain things to modify your behavior.
Yeah.
I mean that's speculation on my part, but it seems like it's perfectly right up the alley. Something that, if you have this demographic information, if you have this information about consumers, you can then start to train them, basically.
So given all that, I think I think we should be distancing ourselves from this. But then how do you explain the White House guy? You remember that, this Cooper guy, this TikToker?
No.
See this guy?
Oh, him with the fingernails?
Yeah, this Benny, whatever his name is. the White House hired this guy. He's a TikToker. He had like 1.3 million followers, but now he gets to hang around the White House creating content for TikTok. So I don't know if you saw his like little video that came out last year with Jen Psaki.
I did see that one.
Yeah, and it's like, really? We're being laughed at across the world. So right after this guy was hired,
think?
Yeah. Right after this guy came on board, which I think was pretty much at the beginning, the White House started hosting these events where they just invited these TikTok influencers to start information campaign on various topics. And here's a couple of examples from the New York Times. To fight vaccine lies, authorities recruit an influencer army. The White House has teamed up with TikTok stars for pro-vaccine campaigns. From the Washington Post, the White House is briefing TikTok stars about the war in Ukraine. 30 TikTok stars gathered on a Zoom call to receive key information about the war unfolding in Ukraine, and Biden officials stressed the power these creators had in communicating with their followers. So that's sort of the backdrop of TikTok. And then, of course, you've got the 500 million users, and they're not really from the brightest cut of cloth or cut of cheese. What's I'm looking for?
They're not the brightest and best of humanity.
There you go. I go back to the original. Yeah, exactly. So I've got a few clips here. I maybe have 10 or so top trends that are going on right now. And I've got some audio to accompany this. The first one is NyQuil chicken.
Well, I wanted to
first?
real quick.
Yeah.
I wanted to point out that there are trends, but they're all that are kind of this goofy, like prankster type of stuff. But there's also these trends that are very sexually explicit or demeaning, especially demeaning women, which is ironic because most of these videos are put out by women of themselves. Whether it be twerking or whether they had one where they had. This woman would be wearing kind of conventional clothes, and then she'd snap her fingers, and all of a sudden she's wearing something very low cut and that sort of stuff.
Right. They've got one here. I'm talking about. There was like a fire challenge or something where they're dressed like in like sweats and no makeup, and their hair is like drooping, and then they have this lighter, this like little flick, big lighter. They snap it, and then all of a sudden, bam! They switch into like this glamorous.
Or like half naked
or whatever. Yeah, they do that. They cut. But there was one where this girl's hair catches on fire because of the match.
That karma train's coming.
Exactly. So we're going to get to that one. But the first one is the NyQuil chicken, which is... I
watched it on like Adult Swim over on that one cable channel. NyQuil chicken.
Yeah, maybe. The challenge involves taking a swig of NyQuil and then eating a chicken wing. Ugh. The combination of alcohol and chicken actually can be pretty dangerous.
Really?
Wonder why. Oh, the alcohol in NyQuil can increase the risk of choking, and the chicken wing can get stuck in your throat.
Oh.
And there's been a couple of reports of people passing out and even dying from the challenge.
Yeah, you should top it up with a Tide Pod.
Yeah, well.
NyQuil chicken is a dish that involves marinating chicken in the cold and flu medication NyQuil with the intent of creating a meal that will treat sickness symptoms. NyQuil chicken, also known as sleepy chicken or bedtime chicken, has been discussed online for several years, but has recently spiked in popularity again thanks to TikTok. Here's the history of the cursed chicken dish. The earliest known mention of NyQuil chicken comes from a tweet from April 20th, 2017, captioned, "If she makes you NyQuil chicken, do not let her go." TikTokers began to post videos of themselves cooking NyQuil chicken in 2020, with the most notable video posted on September 4th. The TikToker made the recipe ironic, sharing that he likes to use 4/3 of the bottle and flipping the meat with a hair straightener. The video gained over 4.3 million views in just over a year. NyQuil chicken videos surged again on TikTok in January 2022, with content about the dish popping up on For You pages everywhere. Though the recipe is generally seen as a joke, multiple news outlets have reported in recent days that people should not be dousing their dinners in NyQuil, urging people to only use the medication as instructed on the label.
Duh. Did you get that? What he said about the ironic 4/3 and then using it? I didn't get that. The irony of what he was saying there.
The hair, yeah. Why flipping the chicken with a hair straightener has anything to do with being ironic? I don't know.
I didn't quite follow that. Yeah.
Well, you know what? When you have these challenges and people, I mean, I know, for example, when there were people that were hesitant in getting the, no, I better not say that because I don't want to get you another strike.
It's all right. One per episode.
Yeah, one per episode. But let's just put it this way. There were certain things that were done, and then people look back and say, oh, that's a Darwin Award. Well, wouldn't you say that the majority of this nonsense you see on TikTok, especially when it does turn into something that's damaging or possibly fatal, isn't in some aspect a Darwin Award? Because you're basically incentivizing people's stupidity. Or am I being too harsh?
I'm sorry, moving on to the mic. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
I mean, we already said it. It's bringing out the worst in humanity. So why would we think that this would not end up being things would be happening that would, end up like injuring people or ending their lives because they want. Remember that years ago there was this thing I think they did on, I don't know if it was the Howard Stern show or some other show, where they had this woman who was drinking massive amounts of water in order so that she could win this prize.
Yeah.
And she ended up basically poisoning herself from drinking too much water.
Yeah,
and she
you
died.
can do that. Yeah.
So, which I think is sort of ironic. There's a certain irony of like drinking too much water, you can kill yourself. But anyway, this is just like that thing, but now it's on this social media platform instead of being a wacky thing you hear on the radio. This is a social media platform, and literally, instead of this one unfortunate woman, it's literally hundreds, possibly thousands of people just because they want to seek some weird level of fame. I mean, they couldn't actually like learn an instrument or learn to write, nice poetry or something. No. They got to do this stuff, but they do it, and they do this stupid stuff, and then they end up with these disastrous results. And it's like,
yeah,
it's the Darwin Award, isn't it?
I think so. Anyway.
Next
one is called the Penny Challenge.
Money.
It involves TikTok users plugging in a charger into a socket, but only partly, before dropping a penny into the gap. Once the penny hits the charger, it can cause an electric spark or even electrical fire.
The penny challenge circulating on TikTok can be dangerous, firefighters warn.
Trend on the popular app TikTok is actually causing fires.
This challenge is damaging schools and putting teenagers in danger.
A letter from the state fire marshal in Massachusetts addressed to firefighters across the country said the challenge involves using the plug part of a phone charger, partially inserting it into the wall outlet, and then sliding a penny down the wall onto the exposed prongs. The result is sparks, electrical system damage, and in some cases, fire. The letter adds, this video is a concern and similar to past viral videos that encourage unsafe behavior.
Do you think if they continue to teach science, electrical information, basic concepts of electricity, that the people would do this? Or maybe I'm giving too much credit to... It just seems obvious.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? I didn't even, when I was by my teenage years, for sure, and not really even having science class that related to that, I already knew that if you put anything near a socket that's live, it's a bad idea. That something could happen. Matter of fact, there's a corollary to this. A couple of years back, they had this challenge where they would actually take a penny and try to put it into the outlet.
Yeah.
Directly. There wasn't even this kind of thing of like the charger or like sliding it past the charger. No, they were just, and they had it happen a couple times where I work. I work at a library, and there would be kids who came, and we actually had to replace a number of outlets because they blew them. Just blew them out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my first lessons with electricity, I mean, I think every kid eventually puts their finger in a socket and you get that zap. But if you didn't do that, you probably did the 9-volt thing on your tongue.
Yeah, and you definitely you felt the shock on your tongue, which, I mean, I think there were even cartoons they would show, like somebody like sticking something in a socket and they go,
Right.
So you could just figure from that, like, okay, as I watch this Bugs Bunny get electrified here, maybe I shouldn't do that either.
Yeah.
You know? But, what do I know?
Next one is the Blackout Challenge, also known as the Pass Out Challenge. Participants try to make themselves faint by holding their breath and constricting their chest muscles. This can lead to serious health problems, including brain damage and death, as it did with a 10-year-old girl in Italy.
The Pass Out Challenge, also known as Flatliner, and the Choking Game, shows teenagers and children filming themselves using temporary asphyxia to get high.
Let's go! Let's go!
And while the challenge is new on TikTok, it's been around for years on other social media platforms, including YouTube and Snapchat.
12-year-old Jean-Luc Jordan, who went to Mountain Ridge Middle School in Colorado Springs, died after playing a choking game he saw on the internet.
11-year-old Curtis had put a dog's choke chain around his neck, and it's believed when he passed out, he fell forward, tightening the chain and cutting off oxygen to his brain.
The issue is, most parents are completely unaware of the dangers posed by seemingly harmless social media apps.
She said, could he have been playing the game? And I said, what game? And she said, the game, the choking game.
Parents are told to look for warning signs that their children may be involved with the challenge, such as bloodshot eyes, headaches, marks on their neck, or unusual demands for privacy.
You don't think about what the end game or what the end could really be. And in a game like this, the end could be the end.
Yeah. Well, I know there was a thing years ago where, and I got to sort of say this very diplomatically, but there was a thing where they had similar things, cutting off air supply and this kind of heightening a certain activity, not just to get high, but had a, well, I just have to say it, a sexual component. So this seems like a corollary to that, but just not with the sexuality aspect involved, but just more just a direct thing of just getting the zoom or the high of hyperventilating, like
right. That was a kind of a creepy one, I think.
Yeah, it's very Halloween-y.
Yeah,
in the bad way.
And the music too.
Yeah. Bad.
Next one is the Orbeez shooting challenge.
Orbeez.
Yeah.
Something to do with actual bees?
No, they're like these little pellets. They're like small colorful water beads, and they're using it as an ammunition in water guns. And participants aim the guns at each other and shoot Orbeez at each other from close range. Let's play this.
Watch as the boys kick their friend in the back of...
Oh, wrong one.
Oh.
Hold on a second. Sorry. I'm out of order here.
Yes, sir, you're out of order.
I'm out of order.
You're out of order.
About to get him. It's a new social media trend. Water pellets being fired during sneak attacks.
Get in there!
It's an armed gun war with my daughters. It's supposed to be all in good fun. In most cases, the targets are friends and family members who take it in good stride. But now, the so-called Orbeez challenge is taking a dangerous turn. Orbeez are squishy water beads that, when mixed with water, expand. Kids love to play with them, and now cops say they're being weaponized. Here's a drive-by attack aimed at a mom pushing her baby stroller. Sometimes it can hurt. This woman, struck by the water beads, was left with large welts, and this 10-year-old boy was bruised after a random attack.
Some teenagers just went by on a golf cart and started shooting people.
Chad Snowden and his wife Dawn called 911 after their son Emery was fired on while playing in a park in Atlanta.
It's terrifying. I mean, it is. It's terrifying that this is a trend.
This is a splatter gun, which comes with these soft water beads. The idea is to safely take aim at non-human targets, but cops say more and more assailants are now assaulting people.
Step up on me.
This body cam footage shows a man under arrest after police say he shot at an Amazon driver with Orbeez, hitting his glasses and neck.
There's little green pellets in here.
Police in Volusia County, Florida, say they found water pellets in the suspect's car, and there's the splatter gun.
In the Amazon driver case,
I mean, it's only by the grace of God that guy didn't lose his eyesight. This is a deadly, deadly prank. It has serious consequences.
It's funny that I'm listening to this segment. It reminds me of something that happened just like 2 days ago, where I was waiting for the train at a train station, and all of a sudden I was just there was a bunch of teenagers, the really young teenagers, the ones that are usually the most obnoxious. And all of a sudden I felt something slap against the side of my head, and I'm thinking, what the heck? And you really saw this kid who had those those teas that have the little tapioca balls in them, like they're called boba tea or something like that.
Yeah, the boba teas.
Yeah. So this guy took one of those, put it in the straw that comes with the drink, and goes and shot it like it was I felt like I was back in junior high and somebody was a spitball in the back of my head. It's like, what the?
And you got hit?
I got hit. I got hit in the back of my head.
Jeez.
So he's like, oh my gosh, a young punk. He was a young punk who had no respect.
Maybe it's on TikTok somewhere now.
Yeah, that could be just attack an adult with a boba ball, I guess. I don't know. So I'm not surprised. I'm just saying when they had that thing talking about these kind of soft pellet balls, being aimed at people. I said, well, I had something like that happen to me.
Yeah.
It just wasn't with a gun, thankfully.
Then there's the milk crate challenge. The milk crate challenge involves people climbing.
I've seen that one.
To the top of the milk crate and then jumping off. Sounds pretty easy, but there's some videos and it's like, these people shouldn't be doing this. I mean, yeah, some of these people. I think I've got, let's see what I have here. I got two more here. Two more audio clips here. Milk crate challenge.
This challenge, which was reportedly first showcased on Facebook, later making its way to TikTok, garnering a collective 15.3 million views, involves stacking plastic milk crates ascending like stairs in which challengers have to climb each of them up and back down without taking a tumble. And let's just say people are failing miserably, so much so that they are even ending up with severe injuries. Multiple people have failed on the first few steps alone, while some are on their descent back down and just can't seem to contain their balance. Despite the fact that one Houston woman who's gone viral put literally everyone to shame, and while wearing heels, this challenge is not for the faint of heart and quite literally could land you in the hospital.
Admittedly, I enjoy watching some of these because, I don't know, a few years ago, those fail videos were big, and you just see people doing stupid things on skateboards and bikes. And
wasn't there like a segment of this sort of thing, like in America's Funniest Videos?
Yeah, something like that. And it's kind of funny to see people do stupid things and fall and get hurt and all that. Not this other stuff like choking yourself and all that, but I'm talking about people who do stupid things like climbing milk crates and then collapsing, falling on their face, whatever. It's kind of funny.
Okay. I see what you mean. I see. Well, it's like the people that, if they see a traffic accident, they would think, okay, well, I should pass it by and be respectful. Not look. But you look anyway.
Slow down. Ooh, look at that. I should not have looked at that.
Yeah, well, but it happens. And that's the kind of thing is that there's some things, and you got to be careful what you see because you can't unsee.
You can't unsee.
I know. I've had that happen a few times for me, and it's like not good.
Here's one more Benadryl challenge. The Benadryl challenge encouraged TikTok users to take excessive amounts of the medication to try and experience a high that could cause hallucinations. The FDA asked TikTok to remove the videos, warning that taking too much of the medication can lead to heart problems, seizures, coma, and death.
3 Texas teenagers were hospitalized in the space of a week after doing the Benadryl challenge on TikTok. And this challenge is for people to take a ton of Benadryl in order to get high off of it. With some TikToks saying that after taking a dozen or more of the pills, you'll get hallucinations. And the fact that Benadryl is pretty easy to get makes this trend even worse. Back in May, 3 teenagers were admitted to Cook Children's Medical Center in Fort Worth, Texas after watching the videos an OD on the Benadryl. A recent update on the hospital's website shows that one of the girls, who is 14 years old, took 14 pills in the middle of the night on May 25th. Then her mother said she was using fractured sentences and experiencing hallucinations. Then when her mother realized her resting heart rate was 199, she rushed her to the hospital for care. And thankfully the teen was able to sleep it off and was fine the next morning after staying under observation. A nurse practitioner commented on the challenge, saying, quote, "What struck me was that we had 3 teens come in for the same thing in 1 week. None of these patients were trying to harm themselves. They all said they saw videos on TikTok and were curious to try it." Then the practitioner continued that Benadryl can be extremely harmful in high doses, explaining it can cause a high heart rate, arrhythmias, hallucinations, and even seizures.
I take it to go to sleep sometimes.
Here's the thing, because of that, now, back in the day, you could just go, like you could get Sudafed or you get these other things over the counter, grab them off the shelf, no problem. Now, because of doofuses like this, you have to go and get somebody at Walgreens to open up the case so you can get the Benadryl or you can get the Sudafed.
Yeah.
Because some morons either trying to use Sudafed to make like street meth or whatever, or you got an idiot, like some of these idiots are trying to get high off of Benadryl.
Yeah, it's the same reason why we've got all the safety labels now, safety
caps and all that.
Because of the Tylenol thing, which happens to be 40 years ago, I think this week or something like that.
My question, real quick here, my question is, how boring are these people's lives to be doing such ridiculous garbage like this
and being challenged?
Challenging, what?
I challenge you to choke yourself. Okay.
Why don't you challenge yourself to like run 10 miles, in a day or something, and see how much maybe each day you make a little further.
Yeah.
How about that for a challenge?
I'm trying to think back what was our thing back in our day? What were we challenged? What was the thing to keep up with? Or I have a scar on my hand.
Okay.
Because I did the sissy challenge.
Now, what's the sissy
and
challenge?
I passed, by the way. I passed.
And you got the scar to show it.
I'm a sissy. No, it was you took an eraser, a pencil eraser.
Okay.
And you rubbed it like, I don't know, 100 times. I'm like, oh, that's easy. Well, after it was over with, I had this burn on my hand, and it left a scar. And now today, I can't really see it too much. In the right light, you might be able to see it's like a centimeter long, and it's a scar I had. So there you go. That was a challenge. But I lived.
The
sissy challenge.
The sissy challenge.
I passed.
I'm a tough guy. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that people throughout history have always kind of done stupid stunts. I mean, we certainly know we have people who have like lost fingers because they thought that they could handle those fireworks safely, but they were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of stuff like that. But I as a kid, I can't remember. But then again, I lived a kind of a sheltered.
Yeah, you and
teenager.
I both did. We didn't really do much.
We weren't hanging out with the burnouts to see what kind of junk they were up to.
No, we were hanging out at the radio station on Saturday night.
We're
geeks.
Yeah, we're geeks. Yeah, so. But it saved our lives, I think. We probably would have ended up in jail or
probably,
worse.
Yeah. Kept us off the streets. I remember they were still doing chicken, which I think was like in the 50s too, right? On Route 53, I remember people driving on the other side of the highway with their lights off, with their brights off, or their headlights off. It's like, that's so stupid. And some car ended up hitting something, and I remember something like that happening back in high school. But I don't remember being challenged like this. I think the pressure is on with having an audience and having a global platform to get your.
Well, the thing is, it's well known that these people are getting like the serotonin hit.
Yeah.
From all the adulation they get for doing these stupid things on whether it be YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or what have you. And their search for this fleeting fame or this this sort of like adulation for basically doing nothing or doing something stupid is, I guess, too tempting for them.
Yeah,
so they obviously throw not only caution but common sense to the wind. So sorry, Darwin Award.
Yeah.
Take yourself out of the gene pool. If you're that stupid, maybe you need to take yourself out of the gene pool. And I know that sounds harsh, but come on. Come on.
Just a few more here that I don't have audio for, but just a quick headline, just because they sound stupid. There's something called a burning pile challenge. I don't know why they call it that, but that's going back to what you actually just talked about. Well, sort of, when I chimed in. Where TikTok users begin the video dressed casually before a quick transition sees them suddenly dressed up, holding a lighter in front of their faces. But however, when TikTok star Maddie Monroe tried the trend, her hair caught on fire. The coronavirus challenge. In March of last year, a so-called coronavirus challenge was circulating on TikTok, encouraging people to lick items in public.
Wait a minute, I thought that went back to actually 2020. I remember seeing that. When I was with
maybe this article came out last year. And it was last March.
Okay. Yeah, but I remember seeing that. It's completely ridiculous.
Yeah. The silhouette challenge sees women begin the video in casual clothes before a quick transition shows them in either lingerie or nude. The challenge sees them standing in a doorway, backlit only by a red light so that only their silhouette is visible. However, that posed problems for participants when some people figured out how to edit the TikTok videos to reveal the women's bodies. Some of the edited clips were posted online without the women's consent. Oops.
Well, you put it on the internet.
People are going to figure out.
Yeah, they're going to hack it. You put it on it, you're going to get hacked. I'm sorry.
Don't underestimate the power of the male.
The geekdom.
The geekdom and just sex overdrive.
Well, sex overdrive, or a technical geekdom mixed with sex. Imagine, what was that? Your character? Gleason?
Jeffrey Gleason?
Jeffrey Gleason.
Oh, yeah. He's all over this one.
He's all over that. He's like, there we go.
Jeffrey Gleason.
Oh, my God. If I just turn the contrast in there, I think, there it is.
I can see it.
Yeah. Jeffrey Gleason.
Oh, we got to have him back on. It's been a while since Jeffrey Gleason.
I missed those videos.
The scalp popping trend challenged people to twist a piece of hair on the crown of someone's head around their fingers. What? Twist a piece of hair on the crown of someone's head
with their fingers
around their fingers and pull upwards, producing a popping effect on their scalp. The TikTok users reported feeling pain or even losing patches of hair when they tried to challenge, and doctors warned against taking part of the trend. Well, duh. Hyaluronic acid injections.
Hyaluronic?
How's it? Hyaluronic. Hyaluronic.
Okay. Your guess is as good as
I don't
mine.
know. I'm not going to say that again, though, or try to. They've experts. I don't know what that doesn't say what it does. Doesn't sound good when you have to inject with any kind of acid, but. And a few here from that damage your teeth. Let's see. There's vampire fangs. Around Halloween last year, a vampire fang trend was circulating. It involves gluing vampire fangs onto your teeth using nail glue or super glue. Then there's the filing teeth. Also Halloween. Oh, this is copied and pasted from the previous one. I don't know what that was. I think people were just filing down their teeth. Okay. The corn cob challenge encouraged participants to eat corn on the cob placed on a drill. So there's somebody who like his front teeth just get ripped out. Ugh. And there's a guy with like no teeth on video now circulating.
He lost all of his teethuses.
The skull breaker challenge. That doesn't sound good. Involves two people kicking the legs of a third person as they jumped. Here, hold on a second. Do I have this?
Watch as the boys kick their friend in the back of his knees. He falls, his head hits the concrete.
A couple of kids had called him over and told him to jump as high as he could, and when he did, they kicked his legs out from underneath him. When he fell, he broke both bones in his arm just below the wrist.
This viral trend is known as the Skull Breaker Challenge.
I was paralyzed, I felt I had a concussion, and I was numb. I couldn't feel my legs, my foot, my hands, nothing.
Ugh. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I guess the last one here, a notable exception here is, what do you call it here? The dry scooping challenge. This is where you eat muscle mix, like the nutrition mix without water. People are choking.
Well, all right, I can see that being. I can't see it like poisoning you per se, because it's something you're supposed to take to help you nutritionally. But yeah, if you have a big scoop of something dry going on your throat, you're not using any water, you probably will choke.
Some 20-year-old influencer. I love that term, influencer. Like it's
it's something to aspire to.
Yeah, suffered a heart attack after mainlining some of the undiluted supplement.
Heart attack. Interesting.
Yeah. So, there you go. That's the bowels of the internet. And I'm glad that Allie never got into that sort of thing. In fact, Allie was supposed to come by. She's was busy, and she said if our show was being done later in the day, she probably would have made over. She would have had a lot to comment on this segment, so it's unfortunate that she wasn't able to make it, but she would have she could probably give us more insight because she's that generation. She doesn't even want to identify with them, really.
No,
oops. Sorry.
Thanks for turning me off, man. You probably saved her from that because making her a part of the podcast
kept her off the streets. Kept her off the streets.
Well, yeah, but I was going to say.
Yep. I don't know my numbers here.
Yeah, obviously not. Kept her occupied with something far more constructive than some stupid trend on the internet.
Yeah.
So you saved your daughter, sir.
Well, she could have gotten into it. I mean, she had her own iPhone and.
Yeah, but I think you captivated her imagination with the podcast ideas.
Maybe.
And obviously she also had very strong inclinations for creativity through music. So I think those avenues pretty much made it where this other stuff. I mean, the people that are kind of doing this stuff, I can tell you, they're probably pretty damn talentless and probably not the brightest bulbs in the.
You think?
In the box there.
No, you're probably right.
So those kind of people would definitely be like going into things that would actually be damaging and stupid. That anybody who had a little tinge of common sense would say, this is stupid. Maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
They never got that. They never got the memo. So that's what ended up with them.
Let's do this. This goes back a ways.
New Artist of the Week.
Hey, thanks, Timmy. Timmy's back. New Artist of the Week. Now, this isn't really a new artist, but I thought that would be a good thing to bring back. Segueing from the TikTok thing. So another thing that has happened recently. So, I'm a big fan of Echosmith.
I had a feeling that somehow this Echosmith thing was going to be coming up.
Well, they became a TikTok trend all of a sudden. So their hit Cool Kids from about 9 years ago.
A good song.
Resurfaced as, and let me play this. This is a video. So you can see Jerry, but I'll try to tell afterwards. It's just people, it's sped up version and people just doing things to Cool Kids. And so they just have these different
Well, at least it seems that they're starting a trend that people won't end up killing
yeah, exactly.
Doing it.
So anyway, they re-released their Cool Kids song with an updated bridge. They never had a bridge in the song. So there's an updated version and they've got a new sound.
Where is that confounded bridge?
The bridge was missing. So I have an acoustic version of the song that I'd like to play here, almost like a lounge feeling here. I'm going to play. The other reason is that we're seeing Echosmith this week at the Bottom Lounge.
Where's that exactly?
On, it's got a Lake Street address, I think.
Huh.
14
So
meter-
it's in the city. Okay.
It's in the city, yeah. So we're kind of gearing up for it. You know me, I got the VIP pass, so we're gonna get like the pre-show and the meet and greet and the pictures, and yeah, kind of cool.
I'm sure they're looking forward to seeing their biggest fans in Illinois.
Well, they know us because they were on the podcast, and I think it'll be really cool this time. So yeah, you have to go back to episode 115 for that. But anyway, I'm going to play this song. I think this is a cool version of it.
Cool.
And we'll come
Cool
back
kids.
and cool kids. Yeah. Let's see here we go. Oh, sorry. I'll edit this in the
post-op.
Yeah.
She sees him walking in a straight line. That's not really her style. And they all got the same heartbeat, but hers is falling behind. Nothing in this world could ever bring them down. Yeah, they're invincible, and she's just in the background. And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool kids. He sees them talking with a big smile, but they haven't got a clue. Yeah, they're living a good life, can see what he is going through. They're driving fast cars, but they don't know where they're going. They're in the fast lane, living life without knowing. And he says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool kids. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to get it. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool kids. Thought I wanted to be cool like somebody else, but 10 years later I'm just a picture on the shelf. Memories in a haze, but I keep looking back. I keep seeing myself 'cause the ceiling's glass. After all this time, no, I can't lie, I was just another person that was screaming when they said, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool kids. Oh, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to get it. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool kids. Like the cool kids.
Well, I guess it's kind of fitting for the topic of the show of being, you know.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be good to be classic.
Where is that coming from? I have I have no.
Jeez, I never knew you were that much of a Rush fan.
I have no idea where that was coming from. But anyway, I was trying to say that was a nice little tie-in with being, trying to keep up with the trends and trying to do everything that the cool kids are doing on TikTok. So it was kind of a nice tie-in there. Anyway, pretty cool. And,
well, one thing I do like about Echosmith is the fact that out of the kind of the pop stars that are out these days, they're wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
Just gosh darn wholesome. And you just, so much of pop music in the past, especially, you talk about somebody like Ariana Grande or something.
Mm-hmm.
And her videos can have these dark undertones.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, a lot of these artists started out initially, they were pretty kind of clean and nice and whatever. Even Rihanna,
got
whatever.
to 'em.
Yeah, and then somewhere down the line, they just start having these really weird videos with weird symbolism and stuff in them. It's very dark, and you never got that with Echosmith. They always kept it clean. They always kept it good, and even when they were being ironic and you kind of they did have messages. The messages were never weird or twisted. They were just kind of just observations about the world around love and life and all that sort of thing. So they always kept it, not only did they keep it real, but they kept it clean.
Yeah. Well, this will be the fifth time that we're seeing them. And every time we go, Allie and I, we've got this tradition we've been going together. It's just a good time. It's a wholesome time. It's an uplifting time. You just feel like the world's okay. I don't know how to describe it. It's an uplifting experience. And I don't know, they're obviously an all family band, and they've been doing this for 15 years now, at least.
Right. And I think that they translate those family values into their music, into their performances, but they do it in a way that doesn't come off being hokey or it still has a bit of a interestingness. I don't know. You know what I'm getting at.
I know what you're saying.
So it's not like some sort of so squeaky clean that you it's boring. It's still fun. It's still there's something to it.
There you go.
I guess what I'm saying.
So we got that coming up. And then the day after, Kim and I are hitting the road. Well, hitting the road. We're hitting a flight. We're taking a flight. We're going to be going to South Dakota. We're going to spend a week there.
You going to say hi to Chrissy Nome?
I'm going to try. I just missed the big annual Buffalo Roundup this past weekend. So I missed that. But
why exactly? Are you going to see the Badlands or something?
Badlands and Mount Rushmore and the Black Hills and.
Well, when I was on my way out to Montana, we did make a stop at the Badlands and the Black Hills. We kind of brushed by Mount Rushmore. We didn't really see it because when you're outside of the park, you can't really get a good view of it. But we did those other things.
Yeah, we're going to do some hiking. I think it'll be a good time of year, nice and crisp, hopefully, first week of November.
Sounds like a nice, wholesome, all-American vacation.
Yeah, I've never been to that part of the country, so looking forward to it. And then I will say the next episode, which has it's already in the can. I put that together over this past week. Big anniversary, birthday. Baba turns 80 on November 5th. So we have a special that's devoted to his history and his words of wisdom over the years. And it's a really fun episode. That will be coming up on the next episode. So we will be, I think our next episode possibly will be Thanksgiving or something.
Well,
so
turns out all those years of doing yoga did do him some good.
He's doing well for 80. Not bad.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about all of that good stuff. So that's it. Thank you again for coming out, Jerry.
Yeah, anytime.
We appreciate it. Good show. And we'll be back again very soon. This is the Smorgasbord Radio Show, smorgshow.com. Feedback at smorgshow.com is our email address. And we'll talk again soon.
Bye-bye.